the Lakers boys gonna take everybody one-on-one.
I know, right?
We talking about Kobe? Yeah.
He don't let the game come to him. No, he just go out there and take.
He's gonna take people. He's gonna make his game.
I'm gonna make this a one-on-one game.
We talking about. Look, I figured after the first 4 attempts didn't go in, he was gonna chill. What?
After the first 4 attempts, if I was a teammate, I wouldn't pass him. Hey, you want this ball again, brother? You better rebound.
Madison Square Garden, February 8th, 1998. The lights were blinding, the crowd electric, and the entire basketball world felt like it was holding its breath. This wasn't just another all-star game. This was history in motion. The old guard and the new blood were about to collide, and everyone in that packed arena knew it. On one end stood a 19-year-old phenom, a kid who wasn't just waiting for the future, he was sprinting straight toward it. On the other stood the man who was basketball itself, Michael Jordan, the king who had ruled the game for over a decade. And then there was Kobe Bryant, bold, fearless, and ready to steal the spotlight. He strutted into his first All-Star game like he owned the place. Eyes locked on MJ, the icon he'd studied, mirrored, and dreamed of surpassing. Kobe didn't tiptoe into the moment, he attacked it. He chased down Jordan full court, demanded the ball every time MJ was on him, and turned what should have been a fun exhibition into a statement. The kid wasn't there to participate, and he was there to take over. And Jordan, oh, he noticed. The legend didn't just respond, he made it personal. With Shaq in his athletic prime, Karl Malone fresh off an MVP season, and a lineup stacked with next-generation stars, this game was supposed to be about the league's future. But Michael Jordan wasn't ready to hand over his crown just yet. By the end of the night, MJ didn't just outplay Kobe, he owned the moment, reminding everyone that the throne still belonged to him. When that 1998 All-Star game tipped off, Jordan wasn't just the face of the NBA, he was the NBA. Every headline, every debate, every storyline orbited around him. The Bulls dynasty was on the edge of collapse. Phil Jackson's contract was expiring, and rumors swirled that this could be Jordan's final run. He'd made it clear, no Phil, no MJ. The world could feel it. The end of an era was looming.
Right now, our object is to go out and play the game of basketball. His responsibility is to try to perform and prepare us for the future. And we can never take that away from him. That's his responsibility. That's Jerry Reinsdorf's responsibility.
That tension made every bucket, every assist, every appearance feel heavier than ever. Fans weren't just watching a legend. They were witnessing what might be his last stand. And Jordan, as always, thrived under pressure. Even at 34, he was leading the league in scoring, carrying Chicago through locker room chaos and front office drama like only a true alpha could. But while Jordan was holding on to his empire, something unstoppable was coming straight for him. A force that didn't care about history, contracts, or legacies. A teenage Kobe Bryant. At 19, Kobe wasn't waiting for permission.
I'm just having fun. I'm having a good time. Michael's a great player, one of the best players of all time. And what better way to learn the game than going at him?
But you've issued a bit of a challenge, and he's got his pride up, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, me too. And that's how you play the game. And that's how I grew up playing the game, and I'm sure he did too, and every player out here as well. So that's what makes this game interesting.
He wasn't even a starter for the Lakers yet, but that didn't matter. Fans had voted him in because they felt it. The swagger, the fire, the Jordan-like aura. Kobe came off the bench in LA, but tonight, he wasn't sitting for anybody. The moment that lineup was announced, he became the face of the new generation. Bold, fearless, and dripping with confidence. What set him apart wasn't just raw skill, it was hunger. The kind of hunger that looks a legend in the eyes and says, "You're next." He didn't want to copy Jordan anymore, he wanted to conquer him.
This is my first All-Star game playing here in New York City with all these great basketball players. It's an incredible feeling. I'm glad it's finally arrived.
And MJ, sensing the challenge, tightened his grip on the crown. Jordan came in defending his empire while Kobe came in ready to crash the gates. It wasn't teacher versus student anymore. It was king versus challenger, legacy versus destiny. And when the game began, it was like the air itself cracked with energy. The crowd roared as if it already knew it was watching a passing of the torch, or at least a war for it. Jordan was smooth, methodical, all business. Shaq was grinning like a beast who knew he could crush anyone in the paint. And Kobe, he was bouncing on his toes, eyes locked on MJ, vibrating with anticipation like a sprinter waiting for the gun to fire.
Just a few moments ago, the Western Conference All-Stars took the court. 4 of the 12 Western stars, including 19-year-old Kobe Bryant, are from the Los Angeles Lakers. But the star of stars is still Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls. Despite 101 fever yesterday, he will play tonight in what could be his final All-Star appearance.
Then came the tip-off, and boom. The moment that ball hit the air, the game exploded with intensity. The pace was fast, the tension was real, and the battle between eras had officially begun. The East didn't waste a single second feeding his airness. On their very first possession, the play was clear. Get Michael Jordan the ball. He slipped into his favorite spot at the mid-range, cool as ever, and right there waiting for him was a fearless 21-year-old Kevin Garnett. Long arms, wild energy, and absolutely no fear of guarding the greatest player alive. Jordan caught it at the elbow, dribbling with that slow, confident rhythm, the kind that said he already knew how this was going to end. Garnett crouched low, sliding with him step for step, his arms like vines trying to wrap around every inch of space. But MJ didn't want distance. He wanted the battle. One dribble, one lean, then that signature fadeaway. Smooth, floating, untouchable.
Here is Michael. The head fake on Garnett. Over him into the lane with the game's first two. So much for being sick.
Yeah, I think he's okay. He's got the bounce, he's got the skip. He's ready to put on the show here today.
The countdown at 39.
KG stretched every bit of his 7-foot frame contesting perfectly, but it didn't matter. Swish, nothing but net. Madison Square Garden erupted as Jordan jogged back down the court with that calm, collected swagger. No yelling, no flexing, just that quiet smirk that said, yeah, I'm still that guy. It was the perfect first punch from the old guard. But Kobe wasn't built to stand back and watch. Not tonight. The West wasted no time striking back, and Gary Payton was running the show like a mad scientist. The moment he crossed half court, the glove started orchestrating chaos. He barked commands, waved teammates into motion, then exploded off a high screen like he was shot out of a cannon. The East collapsed fast, 3 defenders crowding the paint, thinking Payton would force up a wild layup. But Payton was 2 steps ahead, reading the floor like a chessboard. He saw it, the forgotten corner, and waiting there was Kobe, patient, silent, ready for his moment. Payton fired a laser, bang, straight to Kobe in rhythm.
Competitive level that's happening out there.
Payton with the spin. Bryant, Kobe's first All-Star hoop.
It's amazing, Bob, when you watch Kobe Bryant practice and work on his game.
The kid caught it, rose up smooth, squared his shoulders midair, and let it fly. Splash, his first bucket of the night, and the first shot fired back at MJ. The crowd roared, and just like that, the duel was alive. The legend and the prodigy, trading blows in real time. On the next trip down, Jordan tried to respond, hitting his spot again, but this time, clank, the ball bounced off the back rim. Before anyone could blink, Shaquille O'Neal was there, snatching the rebound with one massive hand like he was palming a grapefruit. The sound of the ball hitting his palm echoed through the garden. Power you could feel. And Shaq wasn't holding back. The second he looked up, he spotted a flash of gold streaking down the floor. It was Kobe, sprinting full speed like a bullet train, already a full step ahead of every defender the moment Jordan's shot missed. Shaq didn't hesitate. He cocked his arm back and launched a full-court missile, a pass only someone that massive and skilled could even dream of throwing. The ball sailed through the air like it had eyes, hitting Kobe perfectly in stride near half court. The rookie gathered it, took one dribble, and the crowd exploded. The Garden rose to its feet, roaring as the teenage phenom took flight, chasing the kind of moment that could define an entire career.
Back, Jordan takes the quick inbound pass, and his shot rattles out. Here comes Bryant ahead of the field, reverse slam.
Outlet the ball anymore. They want to be involved in their own offense, but Shaq knows how important.
No tricks, no extra flash, just pure power. Kobe exploded off the floor with those spring-loaded young legs soaring high enough to make time stop for a second. He threw down a vicious right-handed dunk, snapping the rim just enough to say, "I'm here," without overdoing it. The crowd went wild. The entire Garden erupted. The West bench jumped out of their seats, towels flying, players yelling. And for the first time that night, the spotlight shifted away from Jordan, straight onto the kid who was coming for his crown. Kobe wasn't just answering anymore. He was attacking.
Said that he learned from Earl Monroe and Tiny Archibald
He once said he learned patience from Earl Monroe and Tiny Archibald, but there was nothing patient about what came next. If his first dunk jolted the arena, his next one blew the roof off. As if the basketball gods wanted to stir things up, the East rushed their next play and coughed the ball up near midcourt. Kevin Garnett scooped it effortlessly, already scanning ahead. And there it was. That familiar blur of gold and purple streaking down the middle. Kobe again, flying into open space like a runaway train. KG didn't hesitate. Not a single extra dribble. He just launched a perfect lob, slicing through the air down the heart of the court. Kobe never slowed down. He rose like a rocket, floating with that unreal hang time that made him look half superhuman. He snatched the ball out of the air above his head, pulled it down just enough for control, and boom, hammered home a clean alley-oop that detonated the arena. The crowd lost its mind.
He's got the ball in his hands again. To Garnett. Back to Kobe.
Oh!
See, that's the ooh. He can pass.
When I asked all these players who their heroes were coming up,
The West bench went berserk. Players waving towels, pointing to the sky, hyping each other like they knew this was history being made in real time. Even KG couldn't hide his grin. He jogged back down the court laughing, knowing he and Kobe had just created an instant classic. The chemistry, the energy, the showmanship, it was electric. But for Michael Jordan jogging back on defense, that wasn't just another dunk. That was a message. Kobe wasn't just matching the legend's energy. He was stealing it. Make a mistake and the rookie would make you pay. Twice, leave a window open, and he'd turn it into a poster. The momentum was shifting and the West was suddenly rolling. Still, Jordan wasn't about to let some teenager steal his show. On the very next possession, he brought the ball up the court with that calm, icy focus, the kind that made defenders nervous before he even made a move. Kobe sprinted up to meet him, eyes burning, body tense, matching him stride for stride. Jordan didn't rush. He dribbled, backed the rookie down just enough, then rose. Picture-perfect form, elbow high, fadeaway, smooth as silk. Kobe's arms stretched, but it didn't matter. Jordan's release was untouchable. The ball sailed through the air, swish, all net. The crowd gasped, the whistle blew, and won.
Did you listen to your all-star coaches, Isaiah? Well, I listen to them all the time because I was young and afraid of Kobe Bryant.
Count it, plus the foul for Jordan, who now has 8 and a chance for 9.
But Michael told them, bring your A game. And if you don't bring your A game, I'm going to embarrass you.
It wasn't flashy. It wasn't loud. It was MJ. Pure, cold precision. In that single shot, Jordan reminded everyone exactly why the league still revolved around him. Even with the future charging straight at him, the present was still king. The first half closed with both Kobe and Jordan leading their squads in scoring. Two eras locked in a silent duel for the crown and the MVP. The tension was real. Every look between them carried weight. Every possession felt like history in the making. Then came the second half, and Kobe wasn't backing down 1 inch. If Jordan had set the bar, the teenager was ready to climb it. Early in the third, Kobe went right at him again, this time daring to attempt MJ's own signature move. The mid-range fadeaway, right over the master himself. The crowd held its breath as Kobe leaned back, high release, form flawless. It was like a mirror image. But Jordan wasn't fooled. He stayed close, his presence alone enough to throw off the shot.
It's a matter of who the fans wanted to see, like this guy, Kobe Bryant. The starters, at least, are the province of the fans. The reserves, voted on by a consensus of each conference's coaches. Kobe.
The ball rattled the rim, bounced high, and clanged out. No shame, no embarrassment, just a cold reminder that imitation alone doesn't make a legend. He could compete, no question, but the King still owned the crown and every move that came with it. The duel was burning hotter now, the tension thick enough to feel through the screen. Jordan caught the ball in the post, and Kobe was draped on him like a shadow, reading his every breath, ready for the fadeaway. But MJ had tricks no rookie could predict. Instead of the classic jumper, he hit a quick shimmy, one fake shoulder dip, a flash of hesitation, and boom! He burst past Kobe like lightning. The young star tried to recover, but Jordan's first step was still lethal. He elevated toward the rim with that effortless grace only he had. Shaq came flying in from the weak side, ready to send the ball into the stands. But Jordan adjusted midair, twisting, floating, releasing the shot a split second before Shaq's massive hands came crashing down.
On us Friday that he feels kind of lost. He doesn't know what to do without his partner out there. But if he gets hot, he says he wants a lot of time and he wants the ball.
MJ slithers inside play and a goaltending call on Shaquille O'Neal, but he really took the youngster to school on that exchange.
Isolated along the baseline to back him down.
Goaltending called. The crowd went insane. Jordan jogged back with that famous smirk, calm, confident, almost cocky, saying everything without a single word. Still untouchable, still him. But Kobe wasn't about to fade quietly into the background. He came back showing off his own bag. Crossovers, spins, and flashes of creativity that screamed future greatness. The kid had guts.
Dribble and out after their own rebound.
Bryant puts it back on himself and then tosses it over. Now, I'm not sure if he traveled there or if he...
Yet from that moment on, the momentum slowly started to tilt, and it tilted toward his airness. Jordan could feel it. The East fed him again, and this time he didn't wait. He hunted Kobe, straight to the paint. The rookie tried to anticipate, using every ounce of length and energy, but it didn't matter. Jordan's footwork, timing, and basketball IQ were surgical. The crowd could sense it. Something iconic was brewing. MJ powered down the lane, eyes locked on the rim. Kobe jumped to contest, giving it everything he had. But Jordan hung in the air, calm, balanced, ageless. He released the jumper just over Kobe's fingertips. Swish, all net.
Jordan, who has 15, comes back into the lane, off balance, and gets the roll.
The Garden exploded again, flashes going off, fans losing their voices, the tone was set. From that point on, it was all Michael. The rookie could flash, the stars could shine, but the king had taken back his throne. Every possession became a masterclass in control, composure, and killer instinct. Then, like a man showing off just because he could, Jordan stepped out behind the arc on the next possession. He rose, released, and drilled a smooth three-pointer. Textbook MJ. Perfect balance, perfect rhythm, pure perfection. The crowd erupted. They knew this wasn't just scoring anymore. This was a statement.
Because they all want him back, and the people in Chicago love it.
And Jordan nails a three for emphasis as we discussed this before.
Yeah, and the guys that you talked about, though, they're not at the level that Michael Jordan is.
And if that wasn't enough, Jordan turned back the clock for one more reminder of who he was. Driving hard to the rim, the defense collapsed, and midair, MJ switched the ball from his right hand to his left, just like he did against the Lakers back in '91. It was poetry in motion. The ball kissed the glass and dropped through. The entire arena gasped. The move was iconic, timeless, vintage Jordan. Even the commentators were in disbelief. You know, I think we're getting a little too old for this stuff now, one joked, as Jordan spun through the lane again, gliding under defenders like it was 1991 all over. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, the East was rolling, the West was stunned, and the legend was putting on one final clinic.
So, you know, I think we're getting a little too old for this stuff now.
Jordan spins into the lane. The up and under is there for him.
Shaq and Kobe could only watch as Jordan dictated the highlight reel possession after possession, as if the game itself still belonged to him. When the buzzer sounded, Madison Square Garden was buzzing with electricity, a mix of awe, nostalgia, and disbelief. Michael Jordan had dropped 23 points, a masterclass of timing, grace, and competitive fire. He walked off the floor with another All-Star MVP trophy, proving that even in 1998, the GOAT still ruled the game. But while the night belonged to Jordan, everyone saw what was coming next. Kobe Bryant, just 19 years old, had dropped 18 points of his own, throwing down dunks that made the crowd gasp, hitting tough shots, and even daring to pull off Jordan's signature fadeaway. He didn't need to win to make a statement. His message was loud and clear. I'm next. The dunks, the crossovers, the fearlessness. It was more than just skill. It was destiny unfolding in real time. This was the night the torch wasn't passed, but noticed. And when it was all over, there was no bitterness, just respect. Kobe walked up to Jordan with that grin, that knowing nod, a gesture of both challenge and gratitude. And Jordan, always composed, gave that subtle smile back, a quiet acknowledgement that he saw what was coming, a new star rising fast.
What was the new thing you learned from him tonight?
Well, I can't tell you that. I got to keep all that to myself. For all the future basketball players out there while coming out of high school, can't give up my secrets.
You embraced each other. Did he say anything to you? And has the torch kind of been passed tonight?
I don't know. I think we just, went out, played hard, competed a little bit. They say keep up the hard work.
Now, Magic Johnson said that they want to bring you along slowly, and Del Harris has tried to do that. Did that task just become a little bit more difficult after today's game?
I don't know. I hope so.
The king was still on the throne, but the prince had arrived. That night belonged to Michael, no doubt about it, but it also sparked the rise of Kobe Bryant. 2 generations collided under the bright lights of Madison Square Garden. One legend still ruling the throne, and one fearless prodigy ready to chase it down. The 1998 All-Star Game wasn't just an exhibition, it was a moment in time. The past and the future stood face to face, and Michael Jordan showed the entire world why he was and still is the standard every player measures themselves against. Every step he took, every move he made carried weight. He didn't just play, he orchestrated the game. Impossible shots turned into art, impossible angles became effortless, and every possession felt like a master teaching his students how greatness really looks. Shaquille O'Neal and Karl Malone brought pure power, crashing the paint and keeping the tempo high. But even with all that muscle on the floor, Jordan's influence was untouchable. The way he moved, the way he dictated tempo, the way the entire rhythm of basketball bent to his will. It was like watching poetry with sneakers on. And then there was Kobe, just 19 but already fearless. He didn't back down for a second, attacking, learning, testing himself against the man he'd grown up studying. Every shot, every dunk, every stare across the court was a message. I'm coming. Yet by the end, there was no mistaking it. The night still belonged to Michael Jordan. He walked out of Madison Square Garden on top, owning the floor one more time, reminding everyone that even as the league evolved and the next wave rose, the mark of the GOAT was everywhere. It was in the rhythm of the game, the roar of the crowd, and in the way the ball seemed to move differently whenever it touched his hands. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown of one of basketball's most iconic nights, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below, and I'll see you on the next one.